the ecosystem has three main factors to success. First one is innovation, inclusion, and impact.
We are at the Forbes Middle East Under 30 Summit with a special guest who's an Under 30 lister, Mohamed Ehab, CEO of Intalaq. Welcome. First of all, congratulations, and tell us about the inception of Intalaq. Because I mentioned it's very meta, you're a startup helping startups.
Yes, it started with a vision that we would like to have, that being a success factor of the Egyptian ecosystem here in Egypt, with a table I strategy, that the ecosystem has three main factors to success. First one is innovation, inclusion, and impact. So we focused on capacity building programs, research products, and sustainable practices. So data expertise was very, very important for entrepreneurship here in Egypt, for investors to know the market data, to know to know everything about the market, the ecosystem in numbers, policy,
this
regulations.
Information helps the businesses so much.
Exactly.
And big part of your work is data and research, and you recently came out with a survey. So tell us a bit about the market in numbers. How is Egypt's ecosystem?
Yeah, we had a very big success regarding the entrepreneurship ecosystem here in Egypt for the last 5-6 years. Started by almost 1.5 or 2 billion USD foreign investments directed to the Egyptian startups. More than 50-60,000 job opportunities have been created through the Egyptian startups. We have more than 800 Egyptian startups now active operating in Egypt. So it's a big growth for the last 5-6 years, almost 85% growth year over year. So it's a very big percentage. Also, the ICT or the IT sector here in Egypt had almost 16% of the GDP in Egypt, so it was very big. Yeah, so regarding our ranking in the MENA region or Africa, we are the third. Regarding the funding, regarding number of deals and so on. The most trendy investments went to fintech, e-commerce, supply chain, and logistics.
Those are definitely the trends that we're seeing locally.
Exactly.
I know you also focus a bit of your work on policy. Talk to us about what you do policy-wise.
Yes, as you mentioned, we have a big focus on research products. We have almost more than 8 research products annually, between economic overviews, we have a biannual research product for entrepreneurship ecosystem. The last one we created was last December, focusing on creating an Egyptian entrepreneurship index coming from 8 different metrics, started by social inclusion, financial inclusion, private sector contribution, developed partners contribution, cross-border capital mobility, the ease of doing business. So yeah, different metrics. It was coming from primary data and secondary data. Primary data coming from a survey. Out of 1,000 startups, we had almost 150 startups and investors applying to these surveys. So this index was presented to the Prime Minister here in Egypt, to putting all the challenges and opportunities to the Egyptian ecosystem in scientific points in order to have the next steps for the government and so on.
I'm glad you mentioned the challenges, because it's something that a lot of people face, obviously, but they don't necessarily know how to tackle it. So you as a consultant, how do you help them bridge this gap?
Yes, so regarding the policy recommendations that went out from the research product, so we presented these to the government regarding the policy, regulations and so on. So we started with regulations like having a main entity for entrepreneurship here in Egypt, and this entity is focusing on all the regulations that the entrepreneurship ecosystem needs. So the Prime Minister had this initiative, and the highest council for investment created a cooperated entrepreneurship unit coming from all the governmental stakeholders, including MCIT, GAFI, Central Bank, all the ministers that is already sharing this focus for the entrepreneurship here.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and your amazing insights, and we look forward to all the other data that you're going to uncover that's helping all the local businesses thrive a lot better.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank
Pleasure.
you.